because a lot of this is just transition based, which it would have leveled this game up a hell of a lot. Hey people, how you doing? I hope you're having a smashing goddamn day. Welcome back to the Brom Squad Gaming channel. Today I'm going to be giving you my official thoughts and opinions on the FC26 gameplay. Now of course, if you haven't seen it already, the official reveal trailer was last week and I gave some of my thoughts and opinions on that, and they also revealed some of the gameplay, which is really cool and exciting, and I'm hoping that they reveal a lot more in the upcoming trailer. Alrighty. We've got the countdown going. We're about to kick off with the trailer. I'm very excited and I really do hope that it's good. I really do. Okay.
Make gameplay better. Those three words summarize our full focus this year. An overhauled gameplay experience that's responsive, rewarding, and powered by your feedback. Here's what's new. First, we separated gameplay into two presets. Competitive gameplay, customized for more responsiveness and player control in online modes. And authentic gameplay, tuned for more realism in offline modes.
I like that.
So that your experience is
but I said this already.
And how you play. Second, we refined the gameplay fundamentals across all modes. Pace, passing, tackling, saves, physicality, everything to address your most requested changes. And third, we added a host of other exciting community-inspired features and updates, from new player roles and playstyles to a high-contrast mode. Let's start with the biggest change, and something you've been very vocal about: splitting gameplay into two separate experiences based on where and how you play. For the first time, online modes like Football Ultimate Team and Clubs will have their own tailored gameplay preset called Competitive Gameplay, while offline modes like Manager and Player Career will default to Authentic Gameplay. Competitive gameplay is fast, dynamic, and attacking football that rewards you for skill, timing, and quick decision-making. It's designed to feel extra responsive, give you more control on the pitch, and deliver a more consistent gameplay experience.
I do like that.
Passing feels quicker, dribbling feels more dynamic, the paciest players feel more explosive.
Ooh.
We've even chosen the most responsive animations to keep matches feeling fast and smooth. Auto tackles and blocks are less common, encouraging you to take control in defense. And you'll be rewarded for great timing with fewer tackles bouncing back to your opponent. Goalkeepers will also parry the ball to safety more often, reducing the number of frustrating rebound goals that feel out of your control. Every detail of the competitive gameplay experience is built to deliver on those three community priorities: responsiveness, consistency, and control. Authentic gameplay, our preset for career, is immersive, realistic football that emulates how the real-world game looks, feels, and plays.
Yes.
Designed to deliver a simulation gameplay experience, from true physics to our most realistic animations, capturing the same pace and unpredictability that makes football great. Authentic gameplay will still feel responsive, but matches will be less rapid-fire than in FUT, giving that last-minute corner or goal-saving tackle the real-world gravitas that we know our career players love. And in contrast to competitive gameplay, things like AI defending will be tuned differently to reflect how important teamwork is in football. Although competitive and authentic are customized for different styles of play, you'll still be able to toggle between both presets in kickoff and career to tailor your gameplay experience. Our second big gameplay innovation for FC26 applies to both competitive and authentic gameplay. A focus on refining what we call the gameplay fundamentals: goalkeeping, agility, tackles and interceptions, passing and dribbling, attacking movement, and physicality. Here's what we've heard over the last year and how we reworked those fundamentals to address your feedback.
Hang on. Wait.
Goalkeepers are inconsistent.
Okay. I was gonna say.
Expect keepers.
I was just gonna say, you've been telling us the entire time that you've fixed the goalkeepers and everything like that, but they were going to continue with the goalkeepers inconsistencies, and we fixed it and stuff. So fair enough. Fair enough.
Expect keepers to be smarter and more consistent in FC26.
Yeah, we like that.
We're using machine learning to train them in hundreds of thousands of in-game situations to find the best positioning, including those little micro steps world-class keepers use to close the angle. Changing directions feels so heavy. Players can now turn quicker and accelerate more explosively in any direction, making everyone feel more agile and responsive. And we've continued to tune the relative pace of players to ensure that the fastest players feel like the quickest ones on the pitch. Tackles and interceptions often bounce back to my opponent. This is a big one. one we've dedicated hundreds of hours to improving. And now you'll be more likely to win the ball cleanly and retain possession in those moments. Passing and dribbling feels sluggish. Both of these are more responsive in FC26. Passing and dribbling will feel different between competitive and authentic, but they'll both be more fluid and reactive than last year to ensure that the game feels dynamic and in your control. My teammates need to make better runs. We agree that fluid attacking movement is key to fun and dynamic gameplay, and we've retuned the runs your teammates will make as you progress up the pitch to give you even more options and support. I can't protect the ball when pressed. We've created brand new ways for you to use physicality to shield the ball in FC26. By pressing the shield button, you can now seal off your opponent as they try to press you or bump them with your shoulder as you dribble to make a bit of space. Low drivens used to be great. We're bringing back a community favorite mechanic and improving on it. Low drivens can now be triggered on demand by double tapping the shoot button, and this can be applied to all shot types, allowing you to turn your finesse or power shots into low drivens with a second tap.
I literally called that.
This also replaces timed finishing, meaning that precision shooting will now become the primary skill-based mechanic for scoring goals. Each of these updates to gameplay fundamentals is designed to address the most common feedback we get, and together set a better foundation for the overall gameplay experience in FC26. Another widely requested feature we're excited to add this year is high contrast mode.
What?
We've made high contrast mode customizable so you can create a visual experience that's best for what you need.
What?
You'll be in control of the colors of each team, the keepers, the ball, the referee. And you'll even be able to turn off player or stadium shadows, plus adjust the overall pitch saturation. We've also added simplified skill moves, allowing you to perform a relevant skill with a simple flick of the right stick in a given direction.
I like that, to be honest.
5 new playstyles in FC26.
Ooh.
Precision header, aerial fortress, game changer for those flair finishers, inventive for flair passers, and enforcer, which dials up those improvements to off-ball shielding. You'll also see new player roles in FC26
Oh, thank
that epitomize the modern game.
Wait. Let's see here.
Keeper, wide back, inverted wing back, and box crasher. Just like the other player roles, these new roles are opportunities to customize your tactical approach and push beyond a rigid formation.
We need more than that, though.
Gameplay is at the heart of what makes an FC game fun. That's why we're so excited about FC26.
Jesus.
The split of competitive and authentic gameplay allows us to customize and improve your experience based on where and how you play. And refined fundamentals across the game deliver on your feedback, making gameplay more responsive, consistent, and rewarding. There's so much more coming to FC26. Look out for more info in our upcoming deep dives, pitch notes, and on social.
Okay. Let's just rewind here quickly. Right, so just a few things. I think that they revealed a lot in that last trailer, the official reveal trailer, because they do repeat themselves quite a bit. They even show a bit of the gameplay again, which, fair enough, cool. You wanted to go above and beyond with last week's trailer. That's fair, but I do like some of the stuff here, and then I also think that there's some needless stuff here. So let's run through this trailer again, slightly slower. We'll pause and we'll talk and we'll do all that good stuff. I'm going to put this on mute though, so I have all my thoughts and opinions. So this 2-game preset thing, I do like it, but I literally said last week it's probably going to be like the simulation thing, which is exactly what the little voiceover says. It's going to be exactly like the simulation sliders. It's going to be for player career mode or manager mode, which is exactly what I like. I like having authentic gameplay. I don't really like the whole arcade type thing, but I'm also not opposed to it either, because if you're trying to just game with your friends or game online, it is nice to not have to worry about the super compact defensive structure and the CPU trying to read everything, and I like that. If you're just trying to have a chill time, that's great. What I would say is though, by the way, I know that they do have a whole little segment on the whole contrasting thing, but why high contrast mode? Why is a high contrast mode necessary? Because I'm okay if you add this, but the overall gameplay better not have any issues. Because if I'm here, my goalkeeper's lagging or glitching out or doing something silly, but don't worry, because I can change the color of the pitch to gray, and I can make my players orange and the opposition blue. No, Now, I also get it. If you have any disabilities and you struggle to see, great. Absolutely fantastic. But to have this as a new feature in the gameplay thing, not really for me, to be honest. But either way, we'll accept it and move on. But all I'm saying is the gameplay better be good. The gameplay better be amazing. But like I said, I think I said pretty much all I have to say on this in last week's trailer reveal. But I do like the whole idea that you can now separate the two game modes. I would assume it's a more improved version over just having classic sliders and simulation sliders. I also like the player movements quite a bit. I like the idea that there will be a lot more player movements. Of course, especially in the beginning of FC25, it was such a horrible feature that the players didn't move around as much as what they did in previous FIFAs or FCs. So I do like that we are seeing a lot more player movements. I'm hoping that we see a lot more players in the box, because in that situation right there, Lukaku, let's just rewind this quickly. In this situation here, okay, we've got, I think that's Politano running into the box. We've got whoever this is running into the box, and then we've got McTominay. Lukaku's the striker out on the wing in this situation, but nobody runs into the box. McTominay stops, this guy stops, and Politano, he's the only one in the box. You can't do that because real life football, you have players flooding the box, and hopefully it's a addition to the tactical side of the game, where you can adjust that and say, I want X amount of players in the box or X amount of players crashing the box. And if the fact that they've, and I will talk about this later, the fact that they've added those sort of roles and stuff into the game, I'm praying, I'm hoping that you do see more of it. Because if you're trying to cross the damn ball and there's only one player in the box, again, there was another situation like that. Wait, let's just rewind this quickly. I'm just trying to, take this slightly slower so we can see here. So in this situation, you've got Doué running into the box, which is great. Also, by the way, I didn't really take note of this in the last trailer, but I do appreciate the fact that they now show the skill moves as well as what is their most comfortable foot and how good they are on their weaker foot and stuff. As you can see, Olympique de Marseille defender, he's obviously right-footed, but his weak foot isn't that bad. Whereas Kvaratskhelia, he can go both ways, and he's a 5-star skill move person. I don't know. We know that he's very capable with the ball at his feet. So yeah, I don't know if these are just fast breaks, that's why there aren't that many players in the box, but I do want to see like a slower build-up type of thing where you do see more players in and around those final third areas, because we do need that. That is part of football. So because a lot of this is just transition based, which a lot of people tend to play that way, but you do need more players in and around the zones, which I like to see here. But again, in that situation, there were 2 players in the box, and that's with the authentic gameplay, the slower build-up, the more methodical approach to the game. So it does worry me, that part of it, but either way, we'll get there eventually. That's obviously from a corner. But a lot of people have complained, and I mean, I'm one of those people who say you can't cross the ball properly unless your crossing is like 100% on target for that one player in and around that zone. Refined gameplay fundamentals. Of course, they showed this bit kind of last week in the thing where they mentioned that the keepers are a lot more improved and they don't just save the ball and parry it into the path of the other player. And of course, when you tackle the opposition, the ball often lands back at the opposition's feet. So they are going to be a lot more rewarding if you're really good on defense, and if your keeper comes up big with a save, they're not just going to pull a Andre Onana and send it straight into the path of one of the attackers, which is fantastic. Changing directions I quite like, but I do hope it's for both the attackers as well as the defenders, because you would be giving the attacking players a lot more of an edge. Whereas in this situation, of course, Mbappe is rapid, he's agile, he's very quick, he's good at reading the game, fantastic. But Ruben Diaz, okay, yes, coming off of a bad season, but Ruben Diaz is very good at being able to read the game, right? In that situation, we see here Mbappe's drop deep, and then all of a sudden he's got the turn, and of course he's got the pace boost over Ruben Diaz. That makes complete and utter sense. But I do hope that defenders are also switched on, otherwise you're just going to be seeing a lot of games ending like 9-10 or something weird like that. But it is a nice touch that they have looked at and they've improved. The ability on the ball is fantastic, the agility of the players, the movement of the players. You want to, I think I also mentioned this in last week's thing, but you also get to, weave in and out of defensive structures. You have more control of the ball. and it makes a lot more sense. I'm hoping that we see that as a consistent thing. I don't want to see it for like the first month of the game and then they realize, oh, it's too overpowered, and then they fix it and they patch it and then it's broken, and it would just be disastrous. But I like the fact that you do have a lot more control over the player and possession of the ball. I do like that a lot. That through ball, by the way, is absolutely disgusting. That through ball is wild. And the defensive breakdown is also crazy, but I can definitely imagine people are going to be so triggered if that happens to them, like the fullback's out of position or something like that. And that actually brings me on to something that I should have said in last week's trailer reveal. The whole purpose of the roles, right? If I remember correctly, for FC25, it was if you have a plus, you are proficient in that role. If you have a plus plus, you're very good at that role. So the plus plus allows you to be at 100%. The singular plus, I'm pretty sure it was either 60 or 70%. But if you don't have the plus and you're not, you know, trained for that role, it allows the player to be somewhat useless, which isn't the worst thing in the world, and it's not the most unrealistic thing. But if I play Harry Maguire as for example, a stopper centre-back in that role, but he's not proficient in that, Harry Maguire will still do a good enough job at being able to close down the spaces and make sure that he's not out of position. Whereas in FC25, if I play Maguire in that role, he will start walking at times, he will start leaving massive gaps in the defensive structure, which again is not realistic. So I'm hoping that they have somewhat patched that. You're more than welcome to overpower, or not even overpower, because I think that's such a bad thing for this game. I would want him to be capable, you know, look like an actual football player in that type of situation. Because the amount of times where your players are tracking back, but because they're not good at that role or the specific focus or whatever it is, they start doing weird things that you can't even control. Because how are you supposed to control a whole back four or a whole back five at the same time? You can't, it's impossible. And it just leaves massive gaps and holes for the CPU to go ahead and exploit. So I hope that in terms of that area, they have somewhat fixed it. Make the plus plus world class or superstar quality, make that 100% fair, but lessen the impact of not having a plus or a good enough role. Make it like a 70, you know, so then when you have the 1 plus, it'll be like a, I don't know, 85 90 maybe. So if double plus is 100, the single plus will be 90 or 85, and then the no pluses will be, I would probably say, yeah, 80 maybe, 75, 80. And then if you're completely playing a player out of position, they don't have that role, they don't have the position, then by all means give them that 50% role, so that at times they might be walking and stuff like that. That just makes more sense to me in my brain. Because if I'm playing Garnacho as a wing back and he's never played there before in his life and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, that makes sense, because that's what you would expect IRL. This is also quite cool. I think I may have underplayed it last week. I thought that they had already had this in the game where you can shield the ball and protect it, which they kind of do have, but I think they've elaborated more on it. And the low driven shots and stuff, I love that. The double tap of shoot, which is circle for PS5, that is great. I love that. They had that in FIFA 17, I think it was, and then they got rid of it. I love the fact that you can hold down 4 bars of power, and if you tap it again, it's going to go low, hard, in the corner. Beautiful settings. So I don't know exactly how they're going to work that with the time finishing, but either way, I'm very happy with how the low driven shot has come in here. It also just looks so clean, especially if you like hit one from distance. It's going to be so good. Rodri-esque, you could say. Right, the new playstyles. I like that. Precision headering, that's great. I like that they've introduced something for headering, and I do hope that headering has been fixed. I mean, it's recently been patched for FC25, but for majority of the game, it's been really broken. So I hope that is also another thing that's been fixed. They've given a defensive headering ability, and they've also given an attacking headering ability, which is great. Game change, I would assume that means you're clutch, so Cristiano Ronaldo settings in the Champions League. Inventive would be fantastic, and then Enforcer, even better. So big brute force. The new player roles, I do want to read some of these new player roles. So goalkeeper, ball playing keeper, they had that last year. The wide back thing I like. I do like this a lot. They'll be able to cover a back 5. This is great because a lot of teams, if they play a back 4, Enzo Maresca, for example, back 4, that shifts into a back 3. Now, you get the middle centre back, who will cover the central zones, but then the right side of centre back, that could be Chalobah, that could be, I want to say Levi Colwell, but it's not Levi Colwell. It's Chalobah and Fofana. They will be the right-sided centre back that will have to cover for either the inverting fullback or the bombing on fullback, right? Whilst the other fullback tucks in. So now with the wide back role, you can successfully always have that player looking to drift into those slightly wider areas. Now, I do hope that there is a different focus for it. They don't really show it, but I do hope that they do have that. And the inverted wing back, which was a false back in FC25, but now they have an inverted wing back, so you can create these systems that are just so much better. For Arne Slot's system last year with Trent Alexander-Arnold involved in that system, inverted wing back on build-up would have been perfect, right? Because at times Trent was popping up in the number 10 position, rotating the ball on the edge of the box, pulling the strings and being an elite playmaker. So now we'll be able to do that finally. Like, that is great. Sorry, I'm bugging out here a bit for the... No, go back. I'm bugging out for the... Obviously, the tactics. But it just makes a lot of sense. I do also like the box crasher one. This one. Box crasher. A defensive midfielder who can get forward to join the attack. Wow. Again, going back to Enzo Maresca's system, Enzo Fernandez, when he's deployed in, you know, the double pivot alongside Caicedo, box crasher. That's the role. That's the perfect role. I do wish that they showed us a bit more of the focuses and stuff. But I really am hoping that they add maybe more, because you do need more. You can't just have these limited things. And I was actually in general just hoping that they would add more to like the focus area of it. I was hoping that you would have 2 focuses. So maybe the one you have a bit more of a defensive focus, the other one you have a bit more of an attacking focus. It would have leveled this game up a hell of a lot. I also see here at the bottom they have this. So I can't even... I've played this game so much, but I can't remember right now if they've had this in the past, where they show if the player is proficient at attacking or not. But if it's new, it's not a bad touch. I would have loved to have had a more in-depth tactical settings and instructions, but good gameplay would be great too. Also, my whole issue with the crossing into the box. So as the player's going to cross, there's 2 players, and then he finds Rodri on the edge of the box. 2 players in the box is not the worst, but I'd like to see more of a Kovacic in the box or a Bernardo Silva in the box. Rodri on the edge of the box makes sense. That's Rodri. Rodri will very rarely get into the box. He's normally on the edge of the box looking to pop off long-range shots. But this goal, by the way, is absolutely outrageous. So scoring more long-range bangers is always a plus. I know that long-range goals in FC25 were quite hard to come by unless you power shot them or stuff like that. But I do like what I'm seeing. I'm just not seeing enough to be like, I'm super excited, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts and opinions on the gameplay trailer for FC26. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section, and yeah, we can have a bit of a conversation about it. Anyways, until the next time, until the next one, I hope you have a smashing goddamn day, and I'm out of here. Peace.